What's happening, guys? It's your buddy Grizz here, and I'm here to do the fastest Battlefield 1 Gamescom trailer breakdown ever. This went over really well when I did it for Doom, so I figured I'd do it again for this new Battlefield 1 trailer. Strap yourselves in, cause here we go. We open on a desert scene. Plane streaks across the sky, soldier falls off his horse, and there's a guy getting his face beat in with a club. Brutal. Now we see an Arabic soldier chopping our head off. EA Dice Frostbite. Now we're looking at an armored train. That's pretty cool. More cinematic shots of horses and planes. And then we get into the real in-game footage. Okay, we get it. Horses, confirmed. You can shoot people off said horses. Now we have a sniper lining up a shot, and holy shit, that guy took a bullet to the face! No big deal. Check out this Gatling gun thingy, and look at these jeeps. Just look at them. Dogfighting in planes looks fun as hell, and this map features a desert and a small Arabic village. That sounds fun. Also, explosions. Here's that train again, which you can obviously ride in and has large guns attached to it, good for taking out tanks. More horses and planes, and goddamn, this train thing looks like a beast! Fighting on tanks and horses, more jeep shots, and a plane bombing the crap out of some dudes on horses. Here we have yet another plane shot, and this guy looks like he has absolutely no clue what he's doing. He's just shooting like crazy, but that's okay because he gets massacred by the train. Emphasis on melee combat, flamethrowers confirmed. Damn, DICE knows how to make their game look amazing in trailers. This place looks like a city, and we've got planes bombing a ship in the ocean. Naval warfare confirmed? Title shot. Man bound and dragged through the desert. Knife flip. This is totally teasing the campaign here. And he just kill Lawrence of Arabia? Xbox. Alright, well that was kind of fun, but let's talk a little more seriously about the trailer, shall we? They showed us a lot of cool stuff that is definitely making the game look absolutely amazing, which, you know, DICE tends to do in every trailer they make. But in all honesty, the trailer really did tip the scales in my eyes, and it really made me want to play the full game 100%. DICE has said that Battlefield 1 is going to be just as expansive, just as grandiose as any other previous Battlefield title, and this trailer certainly helps to support that case. They showed at least one new map, maybe more, as well as some cool new weapons and equipment like that Gatling gun guy with the face armor thingy that can stop a sniper bullet. That looked badass for sure. And of course, the horses. Everybody is going crazy over the fact that you can ride a horse in this game. But when you really think about it, like, how much fun can we really have with a horse mechanic? I mean, it's gonna basically take the place of the quads and the dirt bikes from the more recent Battlefield titles. And it's just a mode of transportation, guys. Sure, you can shoot at people from the horses, but it also looks like you're gonna be extremely vulnerable and a very big target when you're riding one. So I say again, how much fun can we actually have with this horse mechanic? It's not a game breaker for me. And the answer is probably going to be about the amount of time it takes to ride into your first battle and be shot off by a camping noob. That armored train though, that's what I'm talking about, man. Good on you, DICE, for thinking up some new ways for us to have fun in this type of game setting. I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's only on the one map though, much like Thomas the Dank Engine, who appears only on Goldwood Railway in BF4. So I imagine the new Thomas is only on whatever this desert map is, which I'm guessing is set probably in Syria somewhere. Speaking of that desert map, it does look pretty cool. Wide open desert spaces as well as like a small village, I believe, are included. I'm assuming this game will largely be set in like France, Italy, possibly Germany, and of course the Middle East. Because at the end of the trailer we get a small teaser of what I assume is from the campaign, and it mentions the legend of Lawrence of Arabia, which was very interesting to me and makes me really excited for the campaign. It's interesting because they're using an actual historical figure from World War I, well, as hopefully I'm assuming he's included in the campaign. Hopefully they include him, an actual historical figure. But it's so interesting that I had to read up on exactly who Lawrence of Arabia was because I had no recollection of what we studied about him in my French modern history class from high school. So who was Lawrence of Arabia? Well, like I said, he was a very important figure for both the British Empire as well as the Arab rebels who joined the British in fighting the Turkish Ottoman Empire during World War I. So here's a little history lesson from your buddy Grizz. The Turkish Ottoman Empire joined World War I on the side of Germany, Austria, and Hungary. Their goal was to take over the Middle Eastern nations, well, what is now known as like Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Jordan, I think. But there were a lot of people from these countries who wanted freedom from the Turks, so they were organized into like a rebel movement by none other than a British lieutenant known as T.E. Lawrence, or Lawrence of Arabia as he would come to be known. So Lawrence of Arabia was a Brit, but he spent a lot of time before the war doing research in the Middle East and became sort of inundated with the culture there. Once the war began, he wanted the Arabic people to have freedom from their Turkish overseers, I guess. So he and a British general by the name of Edmund Allenby organized a huge number of Syrian Arabs to join forces with the already sizable rebel movement to fight the Turkish Empire. So the two of them hatched a plan in which General Allenby and the British troops would assault the Turks from the front, and the rebel movement led by Lawrence of Arabia would cut off their retreat from the back. Now, Lawrence of Arabia's goal was to make the rebel forces so pivotal in the defeat of the Turks that Britain and France would ultimately not take control of their lands after the war was won, but rather give control to the local people in those countries. That unfortunately did not turn out to be the case, and the French ended up taking control of Greater Syria, as they called it, after the war. But Lawrence was regarded as somewhat of a hero in the Arabic world for his efforts. In the end, he wasn't able to help the local people achieve control of their area, and France and Britain did end up taking control. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this is the reason why we have sort of these separated Arab countries in that part of the world now, like Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan, and Iraq. It should all be one country, but because of the Sykes-Picot Agreement or whatever, it was divided into 4 different political entities. Lawrence of Arabia's legacy is one of mixed opinions. Some people think he really wanted to help the Arabs gain a unified Arab nation, while others think it was a trick the whole time to get them to help defeat the Ottoman Empire. Either way, peace did not last long in the Middle East, as most of it was in flames almost a year later. The people there were just so enraged at being promised freedom, but in the end just had their Ottoman masters replaced by European ones. That is the general gist of the story, but what's even more interesting is that Lawrence of Arabia was the man who was responsible for severing the Ottoman Empire's Hejaz, I think that's how you pronounce it, Hejaz Railway, that gave them access to southern countries in the Middle East. He would systematically damage the bridges the Turks had built for the train to pass on, just enough so that it would still be standing, but it was unusable, and the Turks would actually have to take the time to dismantle the remains of the bridge before being able to rebuild it. Pretty smart guy he was. So I think that's really interesting because in the trailer we see what I believe is that iconic railroad. I mean, it could only possibly be that, right? We're in the desert near a Middle Eastern looking village with a massive train running either through it or nearby it. I can't confirm that for you. I haven't seen the whole map yet. And we have the specific mention of Lawrence of Arabia at the end of the trailer. It just goes to show that DICE probably did a lot of research into World War I, what was going on at the time, and the key figures that were involved before making this game, as obviously they've included one of the most important figures from the Great War, T.E. Lawrence, into the storyline. Well, I'm hoping that's the case anyway. But I gotta say, I'm really starting to get excited for the game, guys, and I can't wait to get my hands on the beta, see what else this game has to offer other than the St. Quentin Scar map. Not that it's a bad map, but I just wasn't overly impressed by it, I guess. This trailer, however, sort of swayed me a little more, and I'm 100% pre-ordering this bad boy. I just really hope it goes better than the BF4 launch did. I'm pretty sure everyone's with me on that one. But for anyone who's interested, I got a lot of the information that I talked about on Lawrence of Arabia in this article called The True Story of Lawrence of Arabia. And I'll link that in the description below if anyone wants to read it. It's kind of long, it's like 4 pages, but it's a very good read if you like to know more about what was going on in that part of the world in World War I, and just more about Lawrence of Arabia himself and the fight for the Middle East in Dub 1. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I tried something a little bit new here with like a pseudo history lesson, I guess. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, let me know. I might do something else like this in the future. But yeah, if you'd like to show the video a little love, you can always do so by leaving a like on your way out. And as always, if you're new around here, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Guy, can't wait for the BF4 beta. I'll be covering lots of info on it. I'll have lots of gameplay for you guys, so subscribe if you're into that. My name's Grizz, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.